Today, I will be talking about Dr. Michael Fossel. Michael Fossel started in science like anyone does, through rigorous schooling. He attended Wesleyan University, where he completed a bachelor's and master's degree in psychology at the same time. So in the same time it would take me to eke by and get a single degree, Dr. Fossel obtained two. Afterwards, he thought he would take it easy and complete a leisurely Ph.D. at Stanford, focusing on neurobiology. When that was a little too easy, he thought he might as well dual enroll in the med school, since he already taught in it. He described this process as being paroled for good behavior in an interview with Vicky Glaser. By 1978, he had finished his Ph.D. and was finishing up his M.D. when he broke into the field of research. In the beginning, his research focused on neuroscience, specifically on the development of the brain. Dr. Fossel found nervous system development to be a scientific/religious experience. However, his research quickly shifted to the opposite end of the spectrum, brain decay, or more specifically, how aging affects such things as the nervous system. The muse for his studies was a disease known as Progeria, a congenital condition where children show the signs of old age, such as vision and hair loss, wrinkled skin, aching joints, and a loss of brain function. The problem with this disease is that those in the late 70s and early 80s had no idea of how to treat it, since no one knew what caused this aging process. Dr. Fossel decided to work in clinical medicine in order to find a point of intervention for the process that was devastating these youths and was already devastating our elderly. With goals as lofty as curing aging, it comes as a surprise to no one that he has found no answer to his fundamental questions, but through his lifetime, he has made great strides. He has championed the theory of aging known as the telomere theory of aging, or as he calls it, the cellular senescence theory. He has linked shortened telomeres to the aging caused in progeria, and has theorized, along with other scientists, that it is closely related to general aging. Most of his work has fallen outside the realm of research, writing books meant to inform both scientists and laymen about the ideas of aging. He started the Journal of Anti-Aging Medicine in 1998 in order to give scientists like himself in this field a platform for which to publish articles which combine clinical data with speculative application. He quite literally wrote the book on human aging, publishing the textbook Cells, Aging, and Human Disease in 2004. His work, along with others, has led to the development of medical interventions for aging at the telomere level, with companies like the Geriatr Corporation and TA Sciences working with the chemical TA65 in order to lengthen telomeres. The next steps are to put such interventions to the test of clinical trial. When it comes to the recent research of Dr. Fossel, I found an immediate problem. In recent years, he has moved away from his traditional field of clinical study and has transitioned to writing about the topic of aging in order to summarize and publicize the issue. As previously stated, he wrote a textbook, but he also wrote books meant to be read by the general public, like the Telomerase Revolution, a book I myself have read, and why I chose Dr. Fossel. The problem with this is that his academic articles thus lean towards the sides of meta-studies, collecting data from many different studies and drawing conclusions. An example of this recently is his 2012 article, Use of Telomere Length as a Biomarker for Aging and Age-Related Disease, which discusses the work of other scientists such as Elizabeth Blackburn, who won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2009 for her help in discovering the enzyme telomerase, and Maria Blasco, the director of the Spanish National Center of Oncological Research. In the paper, Fossel discusses the use of FISH and PCR techniques in order to measure telomere length, which can be used as a biomarker. He then shows the link between telomere length and various diseases, especially cardiovascular disease and cancer, where there is a clear negative correlation between telomere length and incidence of heart attack, stroke, and cancer. Again, since this is a meta-study, he takes data from another paper by Willett et al. He concludes that telomeres act as a good biomarker since they are both very accurate at predicting things like cancer and strokes and offer a place of real medical intervention. This may not be the kind of article or study you are looking for, but I think it is just as important to science that you gather and share data gotten by others as it is to gather your own data. When it comes to interesting hobbies, it is hard to find good info on Dr. Fossel. However, I do have a funny story. According to an interview of him, he decided to take up babysitting a gorilla in order to do new things and learn sign language. So he starts babysitting this gorilla named Coco, and she has a real biting problem. So, for whatever reason, he decides the solution to this problem is to bite her back. Funnily enough, this apparently worked. He may be the only man alive to claim he bit a gorilla and lived. References. Why did I choose Dr. Michael Fossel for this project? After all, he is not as traditional of a scientist, given he does most of his work outside the realm of direct research, making finding an article for this project a real pain. Partially is because his conclusions have always fascinated me, the idea of a tangible cure to the greatest malady known to humankind. But the other reason is his dedication to the practical. He is adamant that his interest in aging isn't conceptual. What in the end causes aging is not his primary concern, only what he can do about it. He cares more about human suffering than exploring the minutiae of scientific fact. There is a lot of importance in exploring scientific fact and understanding the basics. But where my interests lie is in the easing of human suffering, which research in biology can grant. I respect Dr. Fossel's dedication to the craft, choosing humanity over science.